Good morning and welcome back to Daybreak. Today we're talking about the Autonomous Surface Rover. A bit of a mouthful, but talking to me about it from the DOE, he is a Geographic Information System Officer, Jeremy Olnick, as well from the Nature Conservancy, we got Steve Schill, and from the University of Southern Mississippi, we got George Raber. Good morning, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Now, let's start off, before we get into the Surface Rover itself, tell me a little bit about the DOE and TNC collaboration.
Okay, yeah, the Department of Environment and the Nature Conservancy have been collaborating on projects for going on probably about 10 years now, Steve. It first started out 10 years ago with marine spatial, marine protected area planning. And then we've also done some work on a coastal resilience app that's we're still in development stage right now. And then now currently they are developing a this water drone that will assist us in our work. So
now let's talk a little bit about the Autonomous Surface Rover itself. Tell me a little bit about it. Now the name says rover. Is this like a Mars rover but for the sea?
Well, what we wanted to do, you could think of it as that. What we're really interested in, the Nature Conservancy is really interested in protecting. Our mission is protect all lands and waters upon which all life depends, and coral reefs are they're having a hard time, and the Cayman Islands government does a great job. They're one of the leaders in conservation in the Caribbean, and this is a great opportunity to try to develop a way that we can monitor reefs in a systematic way. We have divers that go in the water and take measurements, and we wanted to develop a platform, and we received funding through the DART Foundation to be able to go in and build a system that would float above the reefs and take pictures at certain increments that we could then stitch together and actually develop stereo models, so we could actually visualize these coral reefs in 3D and get information about them that can be used by the divers to further interpret the health of the reefs.
There we go. Now tell me a little bit about it itself. What is it? This is an inflatable boat.
Correct, yes, it's an inflatable boat, and the electronics inside of it allow the boat with the camera to follow a path, a designated path, a systematic path, so it can travel back and forth over a pre-planned area and take pictures while it's doing that, and those pictures combined have some overlap, and so they can be used to make a three-dimensional model of the reef.
Now, once we get these models back, what can we guys use these models for?
Well, our intent is to be able to develop a tool that's low cost, that is able to be used for monitoring reefs, and you can go back a number of times and be able to look at small changes in the reef. So if there's any bleaching that's going on over a large area, this can operate for a few hours, and we can map a very large area systematically, and we can do that on a regular basis and be able to detect if there's reef growth that's going on, reef erosion, and also the health of the reef. So it provides a stamp in time to be able to evaluate the reef health and how it's doing.
Now the DOE, how is the DOE going to be using this, similar to the TNC?
yeah, it's well, it's going to be incredibly useful for us. I think we're going to be able to monitor long-term our threatened and endangered species of corals for one, like palmata, which is elkhorn and staghorn corals. And also we're going to be, we can use it for things like ship groundings. There's the recent event that happened, and also reef anchor damage and things like that. We can quickly assess it with minimal resources in the water. So
that's amazing. So I mean, the Autonomous Surface Rover, I want to thank you guys so much for telling me about it. From the DOE, we have Jeremy Olnick, and then from the University of Southern Mississippi, George Raber, and Steve Schill from the Nature Conservancy. Guys, thank you so much for being here. We have so much more coming up on Daybreak right after this.